Painting hearts. I was taken aback when Mom stepped into my room without any precaution. She held the book I had been reading recently, Shades of Love, in her hands. A book that had resonated so deep with me, but now it had just become an unwitting catalyst for confrontation. Shock contorted Mom's face as her eyes narrowed with disbelief. My father stood behind her, usually reserved and stoic, but now struggling to hide the disappointment etched across his features. The suffocating silence stretched on, each passing second feeling like an eternity to me. "What is this?" My mother's voice finally broke the silence, her tone laced with a mix of anger and fear. "Is this what you've been hiding from us all this time? Is this why you've been spending so much time in your room, reading this idiosyncrasy?" My heart raced as I tried to find the right words. The weight of years of secrecy pressed heavily upon me, threatening to suffocate my voice. With a deep breath, I summoned my courage. "It's just a book, Mom," I replied, my voice trembling. "It's a story about love. It doesn't change who I am." The room fell to a heavy silence once again as my words hung in the air. I could feel the tension and confusion swirling around us, like a storm ready to unleash its fury. It was a pivotal moment, a chance to reveal my truth, but the fear of rejection gnawed at me. "But it's about this queer love story, Alex," Mom stammered, her voice filled with uncertainty. "It's not unnatural, Mom," I whispered, my voice filled with both sadness and determination. "It's just a different kind of love. It reverberates with my feelings and experiences." The room fell into a heavy silence once again, each heartbeat echoing loudly in my ears. I looked at my mother, hoping to see some glimmer of understanding or acceptance in her eyes. "What am I supposed to tell our relatives, our friends?" Mom's voice trembled with a mix of frustration and regret. "I never expected this from you, Alex. I thought you would have a regular life." My heart sank at her words, feeling the weight of her discontent crushing my spirit. I had yearned for love and acceptance for so long, but instead, here I was, face to face with my parents' distress and rejection. The two people who meant everything to me. I'm your child, and I don't ever want to hurt you. Please don't take this the wrong way." It was evident from my voice that I was on the verge of crying. "I don't even know where I went wrong raising you, Alex. Do I deserve this?" Mom looked at me and then shifted her gaze at Dad, expecting a nod in agreement. Dad was staring into the distance somewhere. It appeared as if he was not present in the room. Then he looked at me for a brief moment, and I braced myself for a similar reaction. His usually warm and jovial appearance seemed to fade away, replaced by a cloud of disappointment that settled upon his face. His eyes, once filled with pride and love for me, now reflected a mix of confusion and disapproval. A deep sigh escaped his lips, a heavy sigh that carried the weight of shattered expectations. "I never thought I would hear these words from you," he finally spoke, his voice laced with a tinge of disappointment. "I always imagined you'd grow up to have a normal life, a wife, a family." I could not bear looking him in the eyes. I could feel my beloved father's words piercing through my heart, tearing at the bond we had shared through all these years. It was as if my revelation had shattered the image he had built of me, leaving him struggling to reconcile it with his own expectations. He started pacing back and forth across my room, his steps heavy with the weight of his thoughts. I watched as his brows furrowed, his face a canvas of conflicting emotions. It was clear that my truth had left him grappling with his own beliefs and biases. Mom had tears rolling down her cheeks now. "Alex, do you understand what this means?" Dad squinted his eyes at me, his voice shaded with anger now. "The challenges you'll face, the discrimination. Why would you choose to be like this? No one will accept you. Mark this." "Dad, I didn't choose this," I said, my voice quivering with emotion. The sadness of censure from my parents seeped into my very being. This is who I am, and I can't change that. All I'm asking is for your understanding and acceptance. Please." His eyes met mine, and I could see the struggle within. The conflict between his love for me as a son and the social expectations he had internalized for so long. "I need time," he finally uttered, his voice filled with a mix of resignation and sorrow. "I need time to process this absurdity of yours, Alex." His last words were my breaking point. The disappointment hung in the room long after my parents left. The belief that I hung on to a few minutes back, of bridging the gap with open dialogue amongst us three, vanished as soon as my father's comments echoed in my mind. That was when I opened up my laptop to apply for the Puffin Art Academy in Verona. I had no second thoughts about it anymore. No more fears. Just a chance to escape. I stood amidst the bustling chaos of the airport, my heart pounding with hope and fear. The journey that lay before me marked the beginning of a new chapter in my life, one that had been etched in my dreams for as long as I could remember. With my suitcase standing steadfast by my side and a one-way ticket clutched tightly in my trembling hand, I took a deep breath, savoring the mingling sense of jet fuel and adventure. Leaving the familiar comforts of my home had been a heart-wrenching decision. The echoes of conflict still reverberated in my mind whenever I thought of Mom and Dad, giving me a constant reminder of the rejection that I had to face. The tension had reached its peak, suffocating the essence of who I truly was, and escaping was the only way out. I couldn't see them in pain either, and here, I was the pain, I guess. I had to leave. Every day spent within those walls of my home felt like a compromise, a betrayal to the authenticity that yearned to break free in me. And so, I chose Verona, the city brimming with art and culture, as my harbor. I had been into art since second grade. It was the only way of expressing myself without fearing judgment from others. The only cathartic outlet I had for expressing the complexities I faced and the fears I had was a canvas. So when I received a conditional offer from the Puffin Art Academy, it was never a no for me. Verona's ancient cobblestone streets whispered promises of acceptance and freedom, and the renowned art academy that was nestled within its historic core beckoned to my restless soul. It was there amidst the grandeur of centuries-old architecture and vibrant pulse of creativity that I hoped to find solace, to unlock the full spectrum of my potential. The sight of suitcases bearing stickers from far-flung destinations ignited a sense of wanderlust within me, as I joined his transit community, bound together by the shared pursuit of new horizons. As I boarded the plane, the engine's rumble drowned out the clamor of doubts and uncertainties, for the moment at least. I made 3 good friends at the academy as days passed, ones who accepted me for who I was: Julie, Matt, and Delilah. Did you guys bother to read the poster Miss Candace handed out to us in class? Julie asked as all 4 of us stepped into the library. Something art-related? Matt asked her. Yeah, it's an exhibition happening downtown at the Cannon Exhibition Hall, Julie told us. Hey Alex, why don't you exhibit your paintings at the exhibition? We can all come with you as well. Not a bad idea at all, I say. Delilah averted her eyes from her phone. I don't know. You guys, there'll be a lot of good art, and I don't think mine will fit. I reconsidered their advice. You think too much. We saw your paintings. They're spectacular. It's not about comparing yourself to others or trying to be the best. It's about expressing yourself and sharing your unique perspective with the world. Don't miss out on this chance. Julie looked at me with a polite smile. This is what you moved here for. I was still contemplating everything that could go wrong. My paintings resonate with me. I've expressed myself in them. But what if everyone rejects them? What if all the fingers point to me as the odd one out? Matt snapped his fingers in front of me, and I came out of my erratic thoughts. You're coming, and that's final. Who knows? This could be the start of an incredible journey for you as an artist, he said. When is it again, I asked. Tomorrow, they all said at once. The next day, morning sunlight streamed through the windows, casting a soft glow in my room. My heart raced, nerves coiling tightly within me, as I prepared to present my paintings at the exhibition. These pieces were an intimate reflection of my experiences and expressed the beauty and complexity of gay love. But as the moments ticked away, doubts gnawed at my confidence, threatening to overshadow my courage. I stood before the mirror, adjusting my shirt, but my reflection betrayed the tumultuous battle waging within me. Thoughts raced through my mind like a frenzied whirlwind, each one fueling my anxiety. What if my art was dismissed as mere provocation, or misunderstood as a statement rather than a celebration? Would they see the vulnerability and tenderness I poured onto the canvas? Or would their judgments overshadow the love and connection that my paintings contained? I couldn't escape the weight of social beliefs that clung onto my shoulders. The world could be an unforgiving place for those who dare to challenge conventions, especially for people like me. My own family, being so hostile, spoke volumes, and any hope I had for acceptance in the outer world diminished as I thought of this. The fear of being ostracized, labeled, or dismissed gnawed at my decision of going to the exhibition. The doorbell rang. It was Julie. She had come to pick me up. Come on. What's with the sad face, Alex? You can tell me if something's bothering you, Julie said as we got into the car. I'm just scared. I tried to explain it to her. I wish more people could just see me for who I am and not my sexuality. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. Remember, the problem lies with them, not with you. You're incredible just the way you are, she said with a smile. Not everyone is like you guys, I sighed. Alex, Bud, I understand that it can be overwhelming, but don't let those negative voices define you. You are so much more than other people's judgments. Your worth and value go far beyond your sexual orientation. Julie patted me on the shoulder. The hall buzzed with whispers of awe and admiration as visitors meandered through the space, their eyes drawn to the stunning artworks that adorned the walls and stood proudly on pedestals. Matt and Delilah helped me put up my paintings. You guys, they have the best brownies on the food stalls, Julie said with her mouth stuffed. You guys have to try some. You guys go on, I'll take a stroll around, I said. The three of them left for the stalls and I started looking around. As I turned the corner of the exhibition, my eyes were immediately drawn to a large mural that seemed to radiate captivating energy. It depicted two male figures locked in a passionate embrace, kissing each other, their bodies intertwined in a dance of love and liberation. The colors flowed seamlessly across the wall as if they were a reflection of the emotions that swirled within me. The longer I looked at the mural, the more I pictured myself as one of the figures. The intimacy between them delighted me. I couldn't help but feel a surge of emotion deep within my being. The colors and textures seemed to come alive, drawing me into the scene, as if inviting me to step into the artwork itself. I pictured myself in the scene painted, feeling the warmth of their bodies press against mine, their touch electrifying my skin. The mural became a window into a world where love was celebrated without fear or judgment, where queer affection knew no boundaries. I looked at the name tag beneath the mural. Jamie. There was a short introduction of them under their name. It said that Jamie was an active advocate for the LGBTQ+, and a prominent member of the local LGBTQ+ support group. The group meetings took place every Friday at the Nitro Cafe. I immediately clicked in my mind. It was Friday tomorrow. I need to go to the meeting. My heart skipped a beat, realizing that the painter behind this breathtaking masterpiece shared a similar identity to mine. I instantly felt an undeniable connection with the artist. Thoughts of the artist consumed my mind, and I couldn't help but wonder what it would be like to meet this person behind the brushstrokes, to connect with someone who understood me. The next day, with each passing thought, my heart fluttered, fueled by the scene of meeting the artist who had stirred something within me. For some reason, I felt attracted to them without even meeting them. I couldn't help but imagine what it would be like to explore the contours of their face, to hold their hand in mine, and to experience the electric spark of attraction between us. I asked Julie to drive me to the meeting. Entering the familiar meeting space of the LGBTQ+ support group, I scanned the room, searching for a face that matched the artist I had conjured in my mind. In a corner, surrounded by fellow group members, stood a handsome figure who exuded a strong aura. I looked closely at him. He looked somewhat familiar, and then I remembered. He looked exactly like one of the guys in the mural. I felt butterflies in my stomach when someone called his name. Jamie. It was him. With a nervous yet eager smile, I approached the artist, my voice trembling as I uttered their name. It's you, I whispered under my breath, unable to contain my excitement. They returned my smile, their eyes shimmering with a mix of curiosity and recognition. Jamie, I began, my voice filled with a mix of excitement and vulnerability. Your art, it moved me. The mural, it stirred something deep within me that I can't quite put into words. Jamie's gaze softened, their eyes gleaming with understanding. I'm glad it resonated with you, they replied. Their voice had a soothing melody. I poured my heart and soul into that piece, hoping it would touch the hearts of those who see it. It did more than touch my heart, I confessed, my voice barely a whisper. It ignited a flame within me, a desire to know the artist behind the brushstrokes, and here I am. I smiled shyly at my words. I am humbled. Your name again? Jamie asked. Alex, I smiled. Alex, why don't you come take a seat? Jamie asks politely. I sit down beside him, still unable to control my excitement. I couldn't help but be captivated by Jamie's presence in the LGBTQ+ support group. Week after week, I watched as he dedicated himself to the cause, his commitment shining through his unwavering attendance and his genuine desire to make a difference. There was something undeniably magnetic about him. As the meetings unfolded, I found my gaze drawn to Jamie time and time again. I couldn't help but notice every detail of his handsome features, the way his eyes sparkled with intelligence and kindness, the slight curve of his lips that hinted at a playful nature, and the effortless way his hair fell, framing his face in a way that added to his allure. I found myself mesmerized by his every gesture, every smile, as if each moment held its own kind of magic. In the quiet moments when the group discussions grew hushed, I would catch myself stealing glances at Jamie. My heart would flutter as I observed his animated expressions, his laughter filling the room and filling my soul with warmth. It was as if his very presence breathed life into the space around us, making every moment in his company feel vibrant and alive. In those stolen moments, my mind would wander, and I would imagine what it would be like to run my fingers through Jamie's hair, to feel the softness of his lips against mine. My thoughts would dance with the possibility of our hands intertwined, of the connection that could exist between us. But with those dreams came a wave of uncertainty, a fear of rejection that held me back from expressing the depth of my feelings. I longed for more than just stolen glances and shared conversations within the support group. I yearned for a chance to explore the connection that seemed to shimmer beneath the surface, to see if our shared desires and passions could extend beyond the confines of our meetings. But fear gripped me tightly, whispering doubts and insecurities that threatened to smother any hope of a deeper connection. As the next support group session approached, I made a silent promise to myself. I would summon the courage to bare my heart to Jamie, to lay bare the emotions that had grown within me. I knew it was a risk, to leap into the unknown, but I couldn't deny the pull, the yearning to explore the possibilities that awaited us. As I sat in the support group meeting, my mind filled with thoughts of Jamie. A soft smile played at the corners of my lips. Little did I know that this evening would hold a surprise that would forever change the course of our connection. After the meeting concluded and the group members slowly dispersed, I gathered my belongings, lost in a daydream of possibilities. Just as I was about to head out, I heard Jamie's voice calling my name, beckoning me to stay a moment longer. "Yes," I said. "Do you have any commitments for today, Alex?" Jamie asked. I looked at his lips when they uttered my name. No, not at all," I lied. "I had to meet Julie and Matt for the class project at 6 p.m. sharp. Would you like to go to the new cafe down the street?" What was it called again? Tina's Toast. "Yes," Jamie said. "Sure, I'm glad you asked," I replied without looking into his eyes. "How does 6:30 sound?" he asked. "Perfect." My voice was chirpy from the happiness. "See ya," Jamie smiled as he walked past me, his arm brushed against mine. My heart skipped a beat. It was a fleeting touch, a brief connection that sent a jolt of electricity coursing through my veins. In that delicate moment, my senses came alive, aware of the warmth that radiated from his skin and the faint tingle that lingered where our arms met. I entered the cafe at exactly 6:30 on the dot, not wanting to have a bad impression on Jamie. I was wearing my favorite denim jacket and had put on my favorite perfume. Soft ambient music floated through the air, mingling with the low hum of conversations and clanking of cups. My gaze swept across the cozy interior, searching for Jamie, my heart thudding with anticipation. The cafe was adorned with vintage artwork and exposed brick walls, casting a sense of artistic charm over the space. Exactly what I had imagined for a date night. Soft light cascaded from the lamps, casting a gentle glow on the scattered tables and the rustic wooden floors. With each step I took, my pulse quickened, my eyes scanning the room, longing to catch a glimpse of Jamie's familiar face. I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness, an intoxicating combination that coursed through my veins. As my gaze finally landed on Jamie sitting at a corner table, my smile faded. He wasn't alone. There was another blonde guy, older than Jamie, probably, sitting close to him. They were laughing at something. My heart sank at the thought of it. Was he Jamie's boyfriend? I looked at him closely. I had never seen him at one of the support group meetings. The ease and familiarity between this guy and Jamie made me jealous. A sharp pang of disappointment shot through my chest. Thoughts raced through my mind, each one more unsettling than the last. Was this new guy Jamie's boyfriend? Had I misread our connection all along? The world around me seemed to fade into a background as my focus narrowed on the two of them, engrossed in conversation and sharing fleeting glances filled with an intimacy that cut through me like a knife. As I stood there, frozen in the bittersweet moment, I could not help but wonder if I had missed my chance, if the connection I felt with Jamie was nothing more than a figment of my imagination. I stepped back and turned towards the door when I heard his voice. "You're finally here!" Jamie was standing behind me. Hi. I masked my sadness, but my voice was trembling. "Come, I want you to meet someone, Alex," he said, heading towards the table. I followed him. I could still turn her away, say my stomach's upset or that I have to go somewhere, but it was all too hard. I couldn't say no to him. "Benjamin, meet Alex, one of the best artists we have in our support group," Jamie said as we sat down. "Oh, Jamie's just being sweet. In fact, his work is what inspired me," I replied courteously. "Alex, this is Benjamin. He is a new member of the support group, and he has recently moved to Verona, so I thought we'd give him a small welcome," Jamie said. "Hi, Alex," Benjamin said. "Hi, it's nice to meet you." I made sure my tone was normal. Are you a native here? Benjamin asked me. No, I'm from the States. Moved here a few months back, I replied. So tell us a little bit about your transit, Alex. I want to know about it too, Jamie said, chugging on his drink. Well, it was hard at first. I was homesick for a few weeks, but then I made some wonderful friends at my art college. They made life less difficult, to be honest. We have made amazing memories. It all just comes down to the company you have, Benjamin. I was not really a social person, but going to the support group meetings has helped a lot with that too, I said. Very true. You need people like Alex to make it worth the while, Benjamin, Jamie smirked. I smiled. So are you living alone here? I inquired, Benjamin, afraid to hear his answer. Oh no, my boyfriend Tony and me, we have an apartment a few blocks away from here, Benjamin replied. The relief on my face must have been evident, because Jamie kept looking at me in a weird way throughout our remaining conversation at the cafe. It had started raining when we stepped out of the cafe. Benjamin had headed for his apartment. It was just me and Jamie. Do you mind the rain? Jamie asked after Benjamin had gone. Nope. You? I asked. Not at all. It's romantic, he giggled and started walking in the rain. He looked even more handsome. I couldn't help but be captivated by his effortless beauty. The rain seemed to accentuate every feature, tracing the contours of his jawline and highlighting the depth of his eyes. As we walked together side by side in the midst of the rain-soaked city, there was a sense of serenity that enveloped us. The world around us blurred into a watery haze, but Jamie's presence remained crystal clear. His laughter echoed through the rain, blending with the sound of cascading water, and I couldn't help but be drawn to his energy. In that mesmerizing moment, it felt like as if time had ceased to exist, leaving only the two of us in a world painted by the rain's embrace. And as I stole glances at Jamie, his wet hair framing his face, my heart beat with an intensified rhythm, whispering the unspoken truth that had taken root within me. What? He asked, nudging me, when he noticed that I was continuously looking at him. Sorry, nothing, I replied, embarrassed. You didn't like Benjamin a lot, right? He asked all of a sudden. What? No, I did, I replied. You were so relieved to find out that he had a boyfriend. May I ask why, Alex? Jamie grinned. No, I was happy for him, I replied, pacing forward. Jamie reached for my hand and stopped me. Is that it? He asked, in his deep voice. Nothing else? I could feel the warmth of his breath on my cheek. I looked at him. I don't know, I was just happy you're not with him, I replied, still in a trance, not realizing what I said. Yes, and that is because I want to be with someone else, Jamie came closer to me. What? I kept looking at him. You, Alex, I want to be with you. Jamie put his hand on my cheek, stroking it. His gaze held a mixture of desire and vulnerability, mirroring the emotion swirling within me. With a trembling breath, I leaned closer. Drawn by an irresistible magnetism, our lips met, a gentle collision that ignited a spark deep within us. The taste of rain mingled with the sweetness of our connection, creating a deliciously intoxicating blend. As our bodies pressed together, I felt a fusion of heat and tenderness, an electric current coursing through our intertwined souls. The rhythm of our kisses echoed the symphony of the rain, harmonizing with the beating of our hearts. I love you, I said as soon as we pulled apart. What took you so long? I love you too, Jamie beamed. We walked to my apartment, holding our hands. As the days passed, our connection deepened. We explored the city hand in hand, discovering hidden places and creating memories that would last a lifetime. Our conversations flowed effortlessly. Jamie took me out to his favorite restaurants and art galleries. Verona seemed better with him. Although I was the happiest I had ever been, I kept thinking about the reaction from Mom and Dad if they found out about Jamie and me. And then one morning, I got a call from them. Hey Alex, how have you been? It was Mom. Fine, how are you guys? I asked, my mind still stuck on Jamie and me. We're good, Alex. When are you coming home? The summer vacations are nearly here, Mom asked. I didn't know what to say. I wasn't going home. I was going to spend the summer with Jamie. I won't come home. I have a boyfriend, Mom. His name is Jamie and he's a great artist. She interrupted before I could finish. Alex, you're still not over this? What the hell? I could picture her facial expressions. Jamie and I have a loving and supportive relationship. It doesn't matter that we're both men. Please just understand. Love knows no gender, Mom. I blurted out. Don't you dare try to justify this, Alex. This goes against everything I believe in. You are my son, and I expected better from you, she shouted. Please try to understand. I can't help who I am, and being gay doesn't make me any less of a person. Jamie makes me happy, and he brings out the best in me. I felt a tear roll down my cheek. Happy? Is this what happiness means to you? You're a disgrace, she said. I just want to be loved and accepted. Please, for once, I pleaded. I can't accept it, Alex, and neither can Dad. She cuts the call. The next day, when I saw Jamie after the support group meeting, I told him everything. His hand found mine, warm and reassuring, intertwining our fingers as if to say, "You're not alone, Alex." I gazed into his eyes, finding comfort and love reflected back at me. In that gaze, I saw understanding, acceptance, and a fierce determination to stand by my side through it all. I realized how much we loved each other. We'll face whatever comes our way together, I promise, Jamie said. Your love and understanding mean everything to me. I don't know what I would do without you, I managed to say, and gripped his hand tighter. Alex, why don't you come live with me in my apartment? We can create a safe haven, a place where we can be ourselves, free from judgment and filled with love. Home. Just you and me, he whispered in my ear. He had offered me the whole world. How could I refuse? I'm so glad to have you, baby. I gave him the tightest hug. Me too, love. He planted a soft kiss on my lips. The end. Do you find queer art fascinating? And do you know of any such artists? Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become part of our rainbow force and stay wholesome.
Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become a part of our rainbow force and stay wholesome.